In 2025, the Trump administration introduced a surprisingly strict new law. It is now illegal to throw cats in the trash anywhere in the United States. While many were initially shocked, officials argue that the measure is part of a larger campaign to protect animal welfare and enforce humane treatment for all domestic pets. According to government sources, the ban was motivated by increasing reports of animal abuse and cruelty across the country. In recent years, hundreds of cases emerged where domestic cats were abandoned or disposed of in unsafe and inhumane ways. Authorities claim that such practices not only harm the animals but also pose public health risks, including the spread of disease and contamination of urban areas. The White House emphasized that this policy aligns with long-standing American values regarding compassion and responsible pet ownership. In a statement, the administration noted that cats, like all domestic animals, deserve protection under federal law. The policy also reflects growing public concern over animal welfare, which polls show is one of the fastest-growing social issues in the country. Additionally, the government argued that preventing the disposal of cats in trash bins is part of a broader effort to reduce animal neglect. By instituting severe penalties for violators, including fines and potential criminal charges, the administration hopes to discourage inhumane treatment and encourage responsible pet care. Animal protection organizations, while surprised by the high-profile nature of the law, largely support it. They highlight that abandoning pets in trash bins not only endangers the animals but also can create psychological trauma for families, especially children, who witness such acts. By enforcing this ban, the government aims to foster a culture of empathy, respect, and responsibility. Critics, however, have questioned the practicality of the law. Some argue that enforcement will be challenging and that resources may be better allocated to shelters and veterinary services. Despite this, the Trump administration insists that the symbolic and preventive value of the ban outweighs logistical difficulties, emphasizing that even a single rescued cat represents a victory for humane policy. The new law comes with strict enforcement measures. Authorities have announced that anyone caught throwing a cat in the trash could face substantial fines, community service, or even jail time, depending on the severity of the case. Local law enforcement agencies are now working closely with animal control officers to monitor potential violations. Officials also clarified that the ban is not limited to intentional acts. Negligent disposal, for instance, leaving a cat in an unsafe environment where it could be harmed, is also punishable under the new regulation. This ensures that all forms of mistreatment are addressed and that pet owners are held accountable for the welfare of their animals. The law includes provisions for education and awareness. Pet owners are required to complete a short course on responsible animal care, including information about proper housing, nutrition, and veterinary services. The government argues that education is as important as enforcement in reducing cruelty, and believes that informed citizens are less likely to mistreat their pets. Public response has been mixed. Animal rights activists have praised the policy, calling it a historic step toward humane treatment. Social media campaigns supporting the ban have gone viral, with hashtags like #CatsDeserveBetter and #NoTrashForCats trending across multiple platforms. On the other hand, some citizens expressed skepticism. Questions arose about how authorities will monitor private residences and whether the law could be abused to target individuals unfairly. Despite these concerns, the administration remains committed, citing the moral imperative to protect living creatures from preventable suffering. Legal experts note that the law could set a precedent for future animal welfare legislation, potentially extending protections to other domestic and stray animals. They emphasize that the ban not only addresses immediate cruelty but also reflects a shift in societal values toward greater empathy and ethical responsibility. Beyond enforcement, the ban has broader social and cultural implications. By instituting federal protection for cats, the Trump administration signals a renewed commitment to animal rights, which could influence legislation and public attitudes for years to come. One significant effect is on pet ownership culture. Families are encouraged to view pets as integral members of the household rather than disposable commodities. Educational campaigns accompanying the law stress the emotional, social, and psychological benefits of responsible pet ownership, highlighting how caring for a cat can teach children empathy and respect. The policy also has implications for shelters and adoption agencies. With stricter penalties for abandonment, more cats are likely to be brought to shelters for adoption rather than being illegally disposed of. This could increase demand for foster programs and volunteer opportunities, ultimately improving the welfare of thousands of animals nationwide. Additionally, the law aims to reduce public health risks associated with animal neglect. Abandoned cats can carry diseases or attract pests, which in turn affect human communities. By preventing such cases, the government argues that public safety and hygiene are improved alongside animal protection. Critics, while acknowledging the positive intent, caution about potential overreach. They argue that the law may place additional burdens on small households and landlords, and stress the need for clear guidelines on enforcement. Nevertheless, most observers agree that the symbolic power of the law sends a strong message: cruelty to animals, even seemingly minor acts like discarding a cat, will no longer be tolerated in the United States. In conclusion, the Trump administration's ban on throwing cats in the trash represents a landmark moment in American animal welfare policy. It combines enforcement, education, and cultural messaging to address a widespread social issue, highlighting the government's commitment to protecting vulnerable creatures and shaping a more humane society for the future.